So I welcome all of my viewers, uh, and I want to share this session with Shane, who is also a channeler. So we have been in contact, for like I think over a few years, while I started channeling, and he also has been channeling a lot of information. So today we are just going to talk about how our channelings. Some of the information may be same and some of the information may be a bit different. So just to provide a different perspective, I've invited Shane here. And firstly, before we start, I would request Shane to give a quick introduction of how he started channeling and just share about himself.
Hey, I'm Shane, currently live in Alabama. I'm ex-military, so I've got to travel across the world, experience different cultures. These days, I guess what you could say I do is like shamanic journeying, but instead of necessarily doing it like with individual people and healing them on their journeys, I do it for more like cosmic journeys and learning, which you like hear books about people traveling off the planet and meeting people and entities, seeing different things. It's kind of like what I do. And then I bring it back and share it with a couple people. That's pretty much what I currently do like today. Kind of like shamanic journeys in the cosmos and energy work.
So yeah, so Shane, what kind of like entities have you channeled? Because you have shared with me, many of the sessions you have done, you have shared with me. So can you please give a brief introduction to the beings you have channeled to the audience members, because they may not be aware of your channelings.
I would say it started smaller. So I just started trying. When I first started, I would just sit and meditate in the water and try to connect with the earth. And then eventually, I used the name Gaia, like the consciousness of the earth. And then that sort of evolved. I would work with similar entities like you, like angels, archangels, consciously try to connect with them in my journeys, different deities. So then you have like all the different religious deities and the ones from myth and mythology, spiritual creatures. And then you start getting into like Galactic Federation, different species on different star systems. And then there was a whole bigger level of consciousness that people don't even really like express. So imagine, if you will, every celestial, which is like a planet, a star, a moon, or something like that, has its own individual consciousness. But that individual consciousness is the collective consciousness of all versions of it in time and space. So say you did like Earth, you have like Lemurians examples and like this and that. So imagine there's infinite other dimensions where there's infinite other names of different things. It's a combination of all of that. And then I deal with like those different celestial consciousnesses. So like you would do Archangel Michael, so I might go the star Sirius. I might try to communicate specifically with that celestial consciousness in every single civilization that's ever existed there, past, present, or future, or all that. Like celestials themselves, like the actual stars, trying to talk with them. That's kind of who I communicate with.
Yeah.
Kind of like where my work is. So like
also,
you do a human and they do energy work, I do energy work with the stars. So say they're out of alignment, their songs out of alignment, their grids out of alignment. We try to figure it all out together out there, but you've got to hear it over the years to kind of try to make sense of it.
Yeah. Those are great. Like you're trying to balance the stars in a way, on a greater cosmic scale.
Yeah, there's the actual movie you can like, Eru Ilúvatar from Lord of the Rings. Like he's the god of the Lord of the Rings. He creates the cosmic song that creates existence. Like, or we have God says the word. Kind of like that similar thing. Like you're trying to deal with that grid of the cosmos, the word, the song, and how they all connect to each star and planet and moon. Make sure it's in harmony. Like one good song play, not like a song that's like, you know what I mean? Kind of like that. Looking at that like simple way.
Yeah. So yeah, today like I wanted to discuss. Like I've also received some information. So today, just this session, I wanted to focus on free will. Like what have you received? Like with regards to free will. So from my basic understanding, from my sessions, as far as I can share, basically, what they have stated is that every being has been given free will to choose the pathway. So they can choose, service to others, or they can choose service to self. And this free will, it's actually the first law of the universe, the logos, which created. That's why free will in this planetary sphere to explore the universal sector. So that's what I have received. Have you received something about free will?
So if we were to explain free will in a more simple way, not just like good guy, bad guy duality, service to this, service to that, what is actually free will and just a general perspective? So when you're dealing with free will, it's your ability to consciously have choices, right? So these are your thoughts. So you have all these different thoughts you have. So that's the air. And then you apply feelings to these thoughts. So that sort of creates a better creation. So now you have these thought forms with energy applied. So you're imagining like a scenario, and you can imagine like what would be felt during that scenario. The next step is applying form to it. What would it look like? How would that thing? It's like memory, the earth, like geometry. So now you have this creation in your mind. The thought got a form of earth, and it's got energy of feelings. So then you have all these different ones, right? So you'll have different thoughts. Maybe I should take this path, or I should take this path. And you're basing it off your thoughts and your memories and your feelings. So how do you choose? That's the fire. That's your intent. That's your will, your free will. So you have free options to create all these choices. You use your elemental bodies. And then which one you choose out of that is your will. That's your fire. You light it up. Once you light it up, they all align, they unite. You get this spark of consciousness. So now you have this whole creation taking life. You brought something into reality. Does that kind of make sense to you from a very simple perspective? Before you apply good, bad, put it into categories. Just pure creation, elemental creation. Taking a thought, like your air, take the earth, which is the form, you apply energy and feelings, and then you ignite the one you want with your will, your fire, your inner fire. And that's how you get creation in a very simple manner. Then you can make it more complex, right? Take it and apply other creations that have already been created, like how would it apply to service to self, service to others, all kinds of things. That's when you play around with it and unite it with different creations. That kind of makes sense. Like really try to break it down, simplify it, where it came from. Like where did free will get birthed from, basically? Not how we use it today. Where did it come from? That's more what I was looking at. Where's its source? I look at the source of things. And so once you get that, you can kind of see its journey, how it got to where it is now.
I see.
Does that make sense? Like applying how you can create things with elements, consciousness into actual form, like material reality. Of course, you can apply it
I see.
The way we talk about it from different perspectives. Different things have free will. It's not just humans, which we have nature. If it didn't have free will, all the plants would be exactly the same every single time, no matter the difference. They take in energy and their own cells decide how they're going to grow and create themselves. Fungi have to make connections and connect to things, and they determine do I really want to connect to that? Do I not? How's this fire going to affect me? It's all different. It's free will expressing itself in different ways. Everything can access it, really. If you're of those elements, those 4 elements of a creation, you can access it. And it's just a bigger, broader perspective of free will. How more where did it come from?
Also,
how did we get to where it is now?
Yeah. So let me just go through, some of my the channeling sessions, about free will, because I, don't remember. So I have.
I'm the same about sometimes. I get.
So let me I'm searching.
Yeah, like that.
So actually, what they have stated, in my sessions is that, free will is a gift from the creator that allows entities to experience the totality of consciousness by making choices. Okay, so like you said, it makes sense because we are making choices in each moment. Like you said, we are lighting a fire. And also they have stated is that the most critical free will choice is internal because it dictates the thought forms and emotions one entertains, shaping their future incarnations. So have you received anything about, free will shaping the future incarnations? That was an interesting thing.
Free will can evolve. So free will isn't just you go free will and that's what you get, and it never changes. You just keep making random choices that you're not sure. Eventually you get to a point where it can evolve into different things. I go with like, say, divine will, true will, your true will. So that's when you still have that ability. You're seeing all these options, but now you know who you are exactly. You know your essence. You know how your thoughts, feelings, all that stuff works exactly, and what your part is in the whole cosmos. It's not a question anymore. You're not the seeker. You become the creator. And from that standpoint, as the creator, you use what you know who you are to align with the whole cosmos, its collective, not just your planetary collective, with the plan that the cosmos has, what you call God, the creator, whatever you want. You align both those together till they unite. And now you have this true will, this true choice. So you can still choose whatever you want, but it's like one of those choices out of, you're seeing all of them, is like divinely lit. Like that's the one. There's no question. There's no like, maybe it's these other choices. Like you exactly know what you need to do. It aligns with yourself and your own vision and with the rest of creation's vision. And it goes in harmoniously. That's like true will or divine will. There's different evolutions now. There's de-evolution. Give your control to somebody else, sort of the opposite way. Now someone else is seeing all those options. They're like, well, you're going to take this one. You're like, okay, I guess I'm taking that one. You give up your free will away. And now someone else is looking at all the choices like, well, we're going to do that one. I don't care if you want it or not. We're going to take that one. Like giving your power away, your fire, your flame. You see people without their flame, they're all droopy. They can't make decisions. Like you can see it. Like there's different ways it can go. So I would say aim for your divine will, your true will, which is in your heart. So imagine all your chakras, everything you are, where would you put them? If you could place all your energy centers, would you put it in your mind and just have these crazy thoughts? Would you put it in your like lower chakras? Like I would suggest putting your heart. That's the best place where all things unite. So then when you put your consciousness in that spark inside your heart, it's now your spark and your thoughts are creating inside of your heart. So everything that you will ever like think of and do first has to come from your heart. And that's where its origin is. So before it even comes up here back to your pineal gland, there's like this, like an figure eight, like an infinity sign, where everything's aligned with your heart and your mind. Then you go another one down, another infinity sign. Now it's aligned with your lower chakras. There's this infinite flow of energy and information, center of your form. So you center everything. And then then you go to highest potential, like your highest self. Everyone aims for that. But well, if things evolve, what's the evolution of the highest self? That's the true self, your true divine source self, what you were designed and created for, and you realize it, and it's perfectly for what you want. It's not something like someone else gave you and you're trying to do what they want, like God wants. No, it's perfectly what you love. You were designed for, your initial love light spark, manifesting its highest potential, its true self, like a merging of the highest self with what it was aligned to do. That's exploring like different consciousness. Because everybody's talking about highest self and all these different cells and things. There's more. There's always more. I can promise you. Once you think you've got the thing, there's always more. Imagine whatever you think of at the highest point you're at now, imagine it has an evolution. Everything. Even God evolves. Because the awareness evolves. God's awareness, all awareness constantly evolving. You're constantly creating. It's exponentially growing forever, infinitely. Always gonna be more. You'll never get bored in creation, ever.
So, brother, one question: how do you like discern which is your divine will?
Okay, so this is where you go into like when I broke down the 4 elements. So when you're getting these choices, sometimes for different people, it's different ways, right? Me and you've discussed this. Maybe you'll see like visions in your mind of choices, like how this scenario is gonna play out. Maybe you can feel it. Like there's different, your sense. Some people are better at hearing things in their mind, like their inner sight, inner vision, or hearing. Your sense is on the inside, basically. Well, first, work on all of them. I'll just embody one. Like, I have great inner vision. I can see through, like, my imagination is very clear, but I don't hear nothing or something like that. So first, work on that. Get them all working. But once you have all these choices, imagine the earth, the ones you see, the visual ones, they're all sentient memories in a way trying to affect your now. So imagine your past, try to come back to either help or haunt you. like these memories you have before that are trying to explain now. So let's say you're in a situation that you've been through before, you might rely on some memories of you've already experienced it. So this memory, this earthly like element coming to you to tell you, hey, this is how you should react. But if the other elements aren't aligned with that, it might not be your best option. So it needs to be like when I say I merge everything to my heart, that's my fire, my water, my earth, and my air. So all those become one divine spark. They're no longer four separate like elemental energies. So for me, I would look at each choice and literally break them down. And as I did this, it got really like fast, computer like fast over the years. Because I've been doing this for years now. You're getting all these choices or voices. They're like overhearing these different options. Eventually, I would just see it as like a connection, like something sending me a connection and a choice, and it's up to me if it aligns with my heart. And eventually, I just kept doing this. Eventually, I would hear less and less choices, less and less choices, less and less. Now it's just I'm in the now. I don't even really get a lot of choices anymore. There's just like one, and then it just works. Like I put full faith into whichever one appears first now, because it comes from here, and I know it comes from here. I won't allow any other choice to enter anywhere unless it comes from here first. Imagine all my energetic connections now have to first go through here. So you want to send me something, if it don't align with this, boing, it's like a mirror. You have to set up your own. Imagine your soul as like as light body, as form, like earthly form, like airy of thought, like all those things. Imagine that like combined. What do you want in it? What kind of things you're going to take? So when you're getting all these options, they're options. There's always infinite options. So when someone tells you this is your only option, no, that's a no. There's always different ways. Consciousness doesn't have limitations. You just gotta have to be in that mindset. Anything can be accomplished. Anything is possible. And your reality will start reflecting.
I see. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So, Shane, finally, like as a closing message, how can people contact you? Do you have any website, or like if someone wants to share or maybe have a conversation with you or something?
For now, I would say just the comments are good. And then if you have any specific questions or topics for the moment, just send them to you, and then we'll talk about them in the future. Maybe we can discuss people who like send their own like little questions, and we'll bring them up in like further conversations. And then once I get something going on the website or something, I'll mention that in the future.
Okay, sure. So, if any of our viewers, has any questions about topics, we can discuss, or if you want, Shane to clarify something from his knowledge, comment. So we will see in the coming episodes. So I want to say thank you to Shane for sharing his knowledge and free will, and we will, do more of these sessions in the future. Hopefully, cover more topics, and Shane will share his knowledge, and I'll share from my sessions. And with that, I want to say thank you, everyone.